Hello everybody, my name is Alan from Sauber-Lab and today will be another video about Synology NAS. In this video specifically, I will explain a little bit more my experience using Synology NAS just over 2 years, and then you can have a little bit more understand why it's interesting or why it's not interesting. The reason that I'm recording this video is because when I was reading all the comments for my videos, one of the comments was state, Alan, you record this video using after 1 year and now it's 2 years, so you still have the same idea or you already changed your mind, and if you still want to keep your Synology NAS or you are planning to replace it for a different option. And this video will explain a little bit more about it, why I want to keep or why I don't want to keep, and what my view about it. If you like this idea and want to learn a little bit more about it, we're gonna show in this video, but first of all, don't forget to leave your like, consider subscribe for the channel if you're not subscribed, and let's understand a little bit more about it. Before I start to explain my experience after 2 years using Synology NAS, I will explain that I still have exactly the same Synology NAS, the Synology NAS DS920 plus what has been released in 2020. And I already have the new revision, the 2023, that end with DS923 plus. And you're gonna ask, Alan, why did you want to update? And the answer is simple, because it still works for my needs. And this means that what I use my Synology is still work exactly the same and without any problem. Since the first day until now, I don't have any issue for it. And this reason that I really like Synology NAS, because just work, it's a stable system. I know that it will be work, my data is safe, I don't have issues for it, I don't need to lose my time to try to reconfigure it, I don't need to worry about to break my rate, I don't need to do a lot of things. So Synology NAS, just plug and play, and it's still working. And things that is really interesting for me, and principally for my daily use, it's some applications. So if you guys come here in my screen, here it's my Synology NAS, and if you guys see, backup has been successful, I just know that the backup is working. My RAM memory is around 4%, so I still have 6% of RAM memory, and if they start to use more, of course, the RAM memory will go up. For how many gigabytes of RAM memory that I have is just enough. If I come here in my apps, I have a few apps and those I use quite daily. If I look for the apps that is really useful for me and is really interesting, first of all will be my Synology Drive. Why this application is really interesting for me? Because just work. Here it's my drive, I can access anywhere that I want. I can set up backups for all my computers, I can set up backup for my phone. I can access this data anywhere that I want. If I'm on holidays, if I am everywhere, they just work without any stress, and I know that will just work. Before, I used to have Nextcloud, and Nextcloud is great, just work as well, don't have any issue at all. But you have some limitations, principally for indexation. Synology Drive, you have a folder in your Synology NAS that is called Drive, and inside this drive you can have all the data that will be accessible outside. Once that I wanted to access my data, I can open my share folder, I can locate that specific folder, I can transfer use the maximum speed of my network, and that's work well. And in the same time, if I want to use the web browser to download something, to transfer some information, or if I'm outside from my house and I want to search something in my NAS, I can just do it and will work exactly the same way. And this indexation is great. Compared for Nextcloud, have a little bit limitation because Nextcloud will work really great, but once talking about indexation, it's not the best system. Once that you transfer your data, you need to transfer through the web page, or you need to transfer using WebDev. If you go directly in the folder for the Docker, open your Nextcloud and try to copy the data there, they will not locate this one unless you set for index, and they are not automatically, so this part is a little bit lack. One of the big reasons that I got it is for my Synology photos, because I want to keep all my photos in the same place, and I look for different applications, look for different solutions, and no solution work as good as these Synology photos. I'll give some example. I have my Insta360, and then I can record 360 degrees. Once that I arrive at my house, I want to export this 360 degrees video, and I can just export as 360, put in my Synology NAS, and that in my Synology NAS they will identify that it's 360, and I can open after my phone. I can connect for my VR and watch it, what is going on. So I feel that I'm inside that environment. Other thing that's interesting, it's my Hyper Backup. My Hyper Backup just work. I don't have any problem. I set up my Hyper Backup and I post lots of videos about it. I go there, I set up my Synology NAS to backup every Friday, and every Friday my Hyper Backup just work. I receive my mail and say, it's gone, it's done, no problem at all. If I have anything that's happened, I will have notification say, something happened, please verify. Also, they will check the integrity of my data. So I know that if this Synology NAS stop, I still have backup for other place, and that's it's safe. And other thing that's quite interesting, it's how stable Synology NAS work. I'll give some example. I have my storage. If I open my storage, I have 4 terabytes free, and I have 6 terabytes of data used. And I needed to upgrade. Not yet, because I still have 4 terabytes, and for my usable, I still have my data. And I have 2 SSDs that work as a cache. If I go here my storage, each one will be 3.6 terabytes, and my 2 caches of 500 gigabytes what work as a cache, and if one fail, I still have my data in the second one. Other thing, all my data is set as a RAID 5. And if one of hard drive fail, I still have my data. If 2 fail, then it's gone. Another thing that's interesting, my hard drives, I didn't need to replace it. What do you mean I don't need to replace? I still using those that is WD red, and according to manufacturer, they give 2 years of warranty, and these 2 years already gone long time ago. So if I come here and drive, this hard drive was on for around 42,000 hours, and if I get 4210 and divide for 24 a day, so it's 1,757 days on. And if I divide for 365, so it's around almost 5 years. So it's more than double of the warranty they give. And because my amount of data that I transfer is not active close for the limits that these hard drives, so this hard drive is still on, is still working, and no problem at all. Normally per week, let's say, once that I record my video, I put everything in my drive, and that's use maximum 200 gigabytes in a week. And also, after I finish to edit everything, I have some external hard drives where I can pull out this data because I don't need it to use every day. Normally, the data that I keep there will be photos, will be data that I want to access and be available every time for me, and the rest that is not so important, I leave in my backups. I don't leave a copy of my Synology because I don't use every day, and I have normally 2 copies of the same data, so it's safe. If I come here and I look, I have others application that I don't use at all. Why I don't use? Because I didn't have the need, or I don't have the reason for it. If I come here in my others application, I can come here my container management, and here will be my Docker containers. And you're gonna see, Alan, I don't see anything that it's related from Plex or for AMB or others application for your manager media. And I will say, yes, you're right. Other reason that I still keep my Synology because I don't use anymore for Plex server. I don't use anymore for media server because Synology NAS is not strong enough for it. So if I want to directly transmit it, will work, but if I want to transcode, they will not work so well. So if I want to transcode, it's better to have a small compute with a new CPU that will do a transcode faster, or a computer with a graphic card that will use the graphic card to transcode all these videos. And this Synology NAS is not so good for it unless you only use for directly transmission. So because of my workload or because of my necessity, I stopped to use so much Plex server, I stopped to use so much Jellyfin server, or at least AMB server, and I start to do other systems. I use more for my data, more for easy access, more for photos. So in this way, my Synology NAS work really well. And either with all those applications installed or all those containers installed, my run memory is still 4%. I could put more containers, yes, I could put more things, but for my use, I don't need those. And also, if you think I have only a few applications, I could have more applications, but why are you gonna install something that I don't need? So in other words, Synology NAS, it's stable, it's plug and play, no issues at all, no stress. I know that tomorrow this system will be working without crash. I know that my data is saved there without any stress. I know that my backup is done every Friday. I know that I can access it everywhere, either without port forwarding. I can use the click connect to do it. Basically, I don't need to do so many things. It's only I connect, I use, and it's fit for my needs. So why am I gonna change it? And you're gonna ask, Alan, why don't change for 2023 options? Because I didn't need it to have this. And I think that looking for my application, unless the system is not support anymore, or unless it starts to be really slow, or my needs change, I will not change it. I don't need anymore to have a really strong computer to run Plex. All the containers that I use is still using here in my Synology, and I don't need a more strong system. If I needed to start to run Proxmox, if I start to run others application, yes, I go back for a computer, I will assemble my server in home, and that I will make it best of users. But at this stage, I don't need to do it. At this stage, my workflow work well. Normally, once that it's connect in this system will be 2-3 users maximum, and I don't see any latency, I don't see any delay, I don't see loss of speed. So for my needs, it's work, it's fit for everything, have lots of features. I know that my system will be safe, I know that the power consumption will be lower. I know that if I live 24 hours 7, in the end of the month I will not pay a lot of money for my system. I know that just work. So I didn't want to change, I didn't want to upgrade. I just gonna use it until it starts to be old and I say yes, definitely need to change. Then I will make a decision. But once that this stage arrive, maybe we'll have different options, maybe we'll have a different system that will work better. I hope that you guys like this video. If you think that was interesting, please don't forget to leave a like, consider subscribe for the channel if you're not subscribed, and see you next time. Bye.